Theme 4, What a Life, Listening and Speaking, Part 1, page 52. 2. Listen to the conversations and match them with the speech bubbles. There is an extra speech bubble. Conversation 1.
Hi, Sue.
Hi, Jack.
When did you come back from holiday?
Just a few days ago.
Where were you? When I last saw you, you were trying to make a choice with your parents.
Yes, at first we couldn't decide where to go. There were 3 options. Mom wanted to go to Japan while Dad preferred traveling to Spain. And the third option was Egypt. After we had done some research on the net, we made up our minds. When my parents saw the pictures of Egypt, they decided to go there.
Did you enjoy yourselves there?
Yes, we did. We loved Egypt. It was terrific.
Really?
Yes, we had the time of our lives there. I think you should definitely see Egypt.
Why not?
Conversation 2.
Hello, Matt.
Hi, Brittany.
What's up? You look upset. Have you failed the final exam?
No.
What's the matter then?
I was at the post office an hour ago. I stayed inside for about 10 minutes. After I'd posted some letters, I walked outside. Guess what? I couldn't find my motorbike because someone had stolen it.
Really? Are you pulling my leg?
No, Brittany, that's true. I got really shocked.
That's terrible.
Yes, I don't know what to do.
Did you go to the police station after you had left the post office?
No.
You should report the incident to the police, so you ought to go to the nearest police station today.
You're right. I'll go there immediately.
Conversation 3.
Good morning, Emily.
Good morning, Jim.
What's the matter? You don't look well.
I feel really unhappy.
Why? What's happened?
I went to the airport yesterday evening as I wanted to fly to Madrid. I hoped to visit my cousin there. I had bought my ticket in advance. That was a few weeks ago, and I had checked in online before I went to the airport, because I didn't want any trouble before my flight. But guess what?
What happened?
When I arrived at the airport, I realized that I had left my passport at home. That was terrible.
Oh, what a pity.
Yes, I feel so bad.
Never mind, Emily. You can go another time.
Pronunciation, page 55. 3. Listen and check your answers. Column 1.
Watched, hoped, walked, washed.
Column 2.
Injured, happened, stayed, arrived.
Column 3.
Wanted, decided, started, needed.
Listening and Speaking, Part 2, page 55. 2. Listen to the information and check your answers. We can see Mehmet II in the picture. He is also known as Mehmet the Conqueror. He was the son of Murat II, and he was one of the most successful Ottoman sultans. Page 56. 5. Listen to the historian and correct the mistakes in the following text. Mehmet II was born in 1432. When he was 12 years old, his father, Murat II, decided to get retired and wanted Mehmet to become the Sultan. However, Mehmet was very young, and there were too many problems throughout the Ottoman Empire. For this reason, Murat II came back in 1446. So Mehmet could rule the empire only for 2 years. After his father had returned to power, he went to Manisa and started to live there. In 1451, his father got very ill, so Mehmet came to Edirne again. Soon afterwards, Murat II passed away. Next, Mehmet became the Sultan for the second time. He was 19 years old. Before he began to rule the empire, he had had a very good education. According to some sources, he could speak 7 languages fluently. He was also interested in literature, fine arts and architecture. Above all, he was a great leader and a very brave soldier. After the conquest of Istanbul, he made lots of achievements and created a world empire. He had the power for 30 years. Eventually, he passed away in 1481. His tomb is near the Fatih Mosque in Istanbul. Page 57. 9. Listen to the historian talking about the conquest of Istanbul. Put the events A to H into the correct order. Mehmet II was 19 years old when he became the Sultan for the second time in 1451. Meanwhile, his mind was filled with the idea of the conquest of Istanbul. The city was called Constantinople in those days, and it was the capital of the Eastern Roman Empire. There were extremely strong walls around the city, but Mehmet II was determined to conquer it, so he made all the necessary preparations. First of all, he started building the Boğazkesen fortress because he wanted to control the Bosphorus. Next, he designed very large cannons. It was not easy to develop these cannons, but the Ottoman engineers could achieve that, and then they began making them in Edirne. After that, Mehmet II improved the Ottoman navy very much. Eventually, the first attack started on the 6th of April 1453. The cannons began to fire on the walls of the city, and that continued for weeks. After a while, the navy had some trouble. The ships couldn't get into the Golden Horn as its entrance was closed with a very big chain. They couldn't break the chain, so Mehmet II made an unbelievable plan. According to the plan, after they had built a slipway, they moved about 70 ships overland into the Golden Horn in the dark, and the Byzantines got shocked and terrified when they saw them there in the morning. Soon afterwards, Mehmet II conquered the city on the 29th of May 1453. Workbook, page 30. 3. Listen to the speaker and tick the correct picture in Activity 1.
Do you know the woman in this picture? Her real name is Fatma Seher Erden. She was one of the heroines in Turkish history. She was born in Erzurum in 1888. She married Dervish, an officer in the Ottoman army. While he was fighting in the Balkan Wars, she was with him. She cooked for the soldiers and helped the doctors with the injured. During the First World War, her husband was on the front line. Meanwhile, she went to Caucasia with around 10 women and fought there. Unfortunately, her husband became a martyr in Sarıkamış. Next, she returned to Erzurum. Before the Independence War started, Turkish people had had a hard life. In 1919, Fatma Seher decided to fight for her country. So she went to Sivas and talked to Mustafa Kemal there. He gave her permission and the nickname Kara Fatma. Soon afterwards, she went to Istanbul and gathered a group there. After that, she went to Kocaeli and began fighting in the nearby areas. Later on, she went to the Western Front line and became the leader of more than 300 soldiers. They took part in the Great Attack and fought heroically. After the Independence War had ended, Kara Fatma received a medal. After a while, she retired from the army as a lieutenant, and then she donated her salary to the Red Crescent. Eventually, she passed away in Istanbul in 1955.